Okay, boys and girls, today we are talking about the toy rules. One of the most important things in your obedience, like you can see in my blog, that's the way to do the successful training. For example, in the heeling, when you have a control over the toy. And this is something what I typically first teach for the people so they understand the basic rules, how to play, how to enjoy the playing with your dog. We have a playing course about that. You can see it's free in our website, but also how to control your dog's behavior during the playing. The first thing what I want to see in my dog is that the dog comes back with the toy, and with Kelly Boy we saw here a little bit examples about it. So the important thing is that the dog always offers the toy to you. Kelly! Hyvä! Hyvä! Ja! Hyvä ja! Hyvä ja! Hyvä ja! Hyvä! So that's something what needs to be there, and of course in this case you need to look how you play with your dog, that your playing is exciting enough to make the dog to offer the toy to you. Then the next thing is what I always teach for my young dogs is the command hold. What we're gonna use for dumbbells and in protection dog also for holding the sleeve. So the dog learns to react on the command hold right away by stopping the playing and just tightening the grip. And there is a lot of information about that more in our Help Your Helper course. Okay. Hold. Hold. Okay. Hi. At the same time I use also the word for playing again. Hold. Hold means the dog stops the playing. Okay. Hi. Hold. Hyvä. Okay. Hi. Yeah. Hyvä. Noin. Yeah. Hold. Okay. Yeah. Good. So that's pretty simple. Then we need to have a command out. Otherwise the training is a little bit difficult when you cannot get the toy out. I have two out commands. I have a primary out command, what means that that's a command what I'm gonna use in a protection and in the dumbbells for fast solid out. At first I typically teach the informal command for the dog, and I don't do that in the fighting situation. I do it just on the side of the dog. In Kelly's case, it's a Finnish command, riittää. So with the riittää command, it just drops the toy, and of course when you do this first times, you just reward the dog immediately. Chip! Noin! Hyvä! Ai hienosti! Hyvä! Riittää. As you see, I don't care if the dog is a little slow. Chip! Ahoy! Hyvä! Good. So that's the command what I use in this situation when I want to continue my obedience training. I'm gonna say riittää, and then the dog drops it, I continue my heeling, or I continue whatever I'm doing in my obedience. It's easy to teach when you have a young puppy. They are not maybe so strong in the fight yet. Typically just by waiting, or maybe pulling up from the collar a little bit, and once they drop it, you reward. Then the other command is the primary out command. This is very important that the dog does it very fast and it's very solid with it all the time, because that's what you're gonna use in your protection trainings. And that's what the dog has to learn to do during the fighting. When the dog fights, out, chip, no, immediately in the fight that the dog learns this fast reaction. Out, chip, no, out, chip, yeah. It's kind of almost like a part of the play for my dog. The command out means, oh, you can play again. Yeah, yeah, out, chip, out, chip, hienosti. Hyvä. Lay down. If that makes sense. Again, something what you can teach for the young dog already. At first, you can start it during the playing, for example, with the food. The dog is playing, you exchange the toy for the food, and eventually you start to reward just with the toy as quick as possible. And the dog learns, when I out, I get engaged to the fight again. And as you see, this process what I'm going through here is pretty logical, like what was the first toy rule what I was teaching? Coming back with the toy. That indicates already how much the dog wants to play with you. Now the playing with me is the reward for the dog. Not only the toy, Rita, it's just the playing with me is the reward. And that factor already makes every other rule easier to teach. The holding, reward is playing with me. In form or out command, reward is getting it back and playing. Out command, again, the reward is playing with me. So what is the most important there at first? That the dog really enjoys to play with you and wants to engage with you. Without that, it's difficult to teach good toy rules. Then the last important toy rule is when is allowed to touch on the toy. So now, for example, here you look at the Kelly. Kelly has the dog front of him. He's waiting my permission when he can play again. In this situation, the handler has to be able to take it up. And in this situation, I also want that my dog targets on the toy. When I move the toy like this, as Puggy is also coming there, as I move the toy like this means for my dog that he can follow it, but he cannot try to take it. I'm teaching the body language for my dog. Body language, this means that you don't take it. Even he was thinking a little bit, I get more tension here, so now he was like ready, you know? But body language like this means that he can chase it, you know? Good, follow. Command follow means that you just follow it. Chip! Hieno poika. So you understand the difference. I take it, I move it, allowed to follow, and I tease with it. The dog reads my body language. Now I can chase it. Very important parts already for different parts in obedience training, but especially if you take example about the heeling. If your dog is trying to grab the toy all the time from you when you do the heeling and doesn't actually concentrate to the technical exercise, it's very difficult to do good result. So it has to be clear for the dog. Your body language. Good boy, yes. He's allowed to look. I start to move away. I use in the backward heeling the command follow. The dog starts to follow it. What? I can even bark, follow. And as you can see, how much easier in the future to do heeling now. What? Chip. And motion. And basically many exercises, from positions, the recall, many exercises, very important. Yeah! So just go and play with your dog, have fun. Don't think you're healing right now, don't think you're formal obedience, have fun and put some rules in. Out! Out! What? Ay, 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 ay.